Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. Let me show you something here. Check it out. So I visited this area well over a year ago, and I'm still calling it a beaver dam. Beaver dams can create, or well, we'll just say beavers can create huge flooded areas, right, with their dams. And when I was here, I didn't make a video and show you, but I found the lodge, but I didn't find beavers living in the lodge. What will I find today? We're going to have to bushwhack through the woods. We'll go look at the river and come around the back to get to the lodge. Let's get going, see what we find. I know the sun is in your eyes, trust me, it's in mine as well. We're actually really close to the lodge where we're at, where the bike is anyway. It's right on the other side of the grass, but we can't walk to it. There's too much muck, water, too much soft soil that I'll just sink in. Like there's some trails going to the water, but we can't walk on water. You see where this really big tree is? Yeah, we gotta go almost what's gonna feel like a mile out of my way to get back there. Still water right here. Last time I visited this area, there was far less water than there is today. We've had a wetter year than we did the last time I came and looked at this. Still see water. All right, less water now. Let's find a place to go in. Ah, I found a place. Everybody's favorite entrance into the wood, just head on. Yeah, you're right. Well, we can't go any further than this. Pretty much came into the woods right where the water stops. See this? We're parked right next to a wash. Almost have the front tire in it. Runs along here. This could be associated with the beavers or not. It could be associated with something else that lives here because, yeah, let's get going and I'll tell you about stuff. Really tempted just to follow the wash, but we are going to make a straight line through this hardtack. It's not too bad for the river. Beavers make dams. People make dams. Otters do not make dams. Nutria do not make dams. However, river otters and otters in general do live in beaver lodges, like abandoned beaver lodges. Look at this. Pretty cool looking. Was that big oak tree right there? Maybe this one was an oak as well. Look at the root system. Awesome. Last time I was back here checking stuff out, there were otters living in the lodge that I found. Look what I found right there. Or we're gonna leave it there. We might find some things that I will keep. A lot of things I will not. You gotta limit the amount of junk that I have. We're really close to the river. It's not a wide swath of woods we're walking through. It's not super thin. Let's go ahead and walk towards there. I was getting sidetracked going towards the lodge, but we'll go to the river first. See this right here? You look that way, you see a bunch of sticks and logs and other debris. You see the line? This is how we know we're in a floodplain. This is how we know we're real close to the river. At some point, the river came up into these woods, and this is about as far as it came up. It can go up further, right? But this is a historical position of where the line was, the water line. And all this stuff got washed up here. We'll probably see another line. Today's the full moon. Let's go over here. So this is a great day for me to come do this without fishing rods. Sometimes the most joyous occasion for me is to walk through thick woods without fishing rods, rather with them. Yeah, a lot of times walking through stuff like this with fishing rods is a pain in the ass. I know I said let's go to the river. We're going to get there eventually, but let's see what this is. It's a old container for muriatic acid. See, it says muriatic acid right there. The beaver pond itself could hold fish, but as I remember, it's not very deep, and I did find fish there, but it was only spotted gar that I found. This area that we're going to explore on the river is one of those areas I do not fish. There she is, the Mississippi. I've tried fishing this stretch. I've come through the woods and thrown out. And yeah, full of resentment, extremely snaggy. We got a anchorage right there. All I've brought with me today, the machete, a bottle of water, the backpack with some essentials for filming, and clothing. Yeah, I do have clothing on today and boots. Yeah, so it's a nice day, but not so much for fishing. It's been extremely windy. Maybe later when the wind lays down, I'll try to give it a go, but I am not one who is a big fan of fishing on full moons. Sometimes for some people, getting lost in the woods is easier than just saying it. For me, it takes a certain kind of woods to make it easy for me to get lost, and this is not it. There are all kinds of things here to commit to memory, and there always will be in a woods like this, where the river's constantly dumping landmarks. Landmarks such as big chunks of styrofoam. So remember, I told you that I've been back here before. I've been to this lodge that we're walking to once before. Oh, I don't remember much, but I do know a few things based on what I do remember. And this is something that you can find along the river here in my area, quite common, is this berm, a mound of land. You know, that's what we call a berm. It's a mound and a line mound that runs through the woods. It's like a small levee, and I'm staring at one right there. Now I'm just pausing here to make up my mind how I'm going to attack it, because as you look right in front of us here, See this thick stuff? We'll just call it hardpack. That's all a thorny vine. But I need to go over there. I got to get through it. I remember going through a big thick patch of it anyway. I think this is the patch, and it is big. Big old patch of, I think that's wild blackberry vine. See, here's an example of this stuff right here. Well, not certain, but that is a thorny vine. Not certain if it is wild blackberry. I think it is. Not too bad. There's a buoy. We are real close to the lodge, or the one that I found. There could be multiple lodges in the area, but this is one of them. I don't know if something's up in there now, maybe right through there, but you could see animals have dug out right here. They got their entrances. It might be a paw print right there, but I can't tell. It's not well defined. And then we got other burrows like right in there. Something been digging in there. I remember this right here. I've been here. Is this where I saw the otters? Not 100% if this is actually a lodge, but something's living in there. Doesn't have to be the otters. You can see this looks fairly active right here. Could be armadillos. Armadillos make burrows too, and this is a convenient location because it's so high up that you can have a burrow and it's going to stay dry. And over here, and here we have the water. Yeah, I think the last time I visited this, it looked a lot different. There was less water, right? And there were river otters all over the place right here. Unless this is not the same location. It looks exactly the same as far as that. I've been there. I've seen that. But there's just more water here. Let's see how close we can get. Well, I've not seen a smorgasbord of tracks, but that might change right here. Something's come through here. Huh. Not human though. Well, that's some mucky looking water, huh? Wonder how many leeches are living in there. There's the buoy that I just showed you. So we're kind of tracing my footsteps, but not the ones the ones I made many. What am I trying to say? Not necessarily retracing my footsteps from 10 minutes ago. I believe over a year ago, I traveled along the back of this mound. Now, in other areas, this mound that exists through the woods is nothing more than dirt and broken concrete. But here it's different. It's all earthen, right? An earthen mound. Is it natural or is it man-made? Probably man-made. There's a lot of burrowing going on in this mound as we come along the back of it. If I remember correctly, at some point I got on top of that mound. Is it a skull or is it a styrofoam ball? It's a styrofoam ball. Where did I get up on this? This looks really familiar. I think this is where I crawled up and saw the otters. The pond looks healthier right here. Let's get down there so you can see, because you're looking through leaves and branches. Something just stirred over there right as I came off the top of the mound. Well, so far I haven't seen a mammal. There's something, just stuff in here. Knowing me, if you do know me, you might expect me to go out there on this. You might not know me that good then. I don't think it's advisable. Looks like I'm about to do it anyway though, isn't it? But this is the most ill-advisable part of it, because that's well rotted. And it might, what this is sitting on top of, this bottom piece of wood, this might feel more substantial, but it might be less substantial as we get out there. But it is tempting for me. But yeah, I'm not doing it. There are so many burrows in this mound. There must be a lot of things living here. Could be rabbits, armadillos, could be otters. I don't think it's beavers living in there. Maybe, but one might be staking the argument or making a claim here that this is not even in fact a beaver pond, because you might be thinking, I have not shown you any real evidence that it is. Well, we're getting there. Oh, look at that. Not the square. Look at this. This is a radio. Distress, distress, distress. I don't remember where I went from here. I do. Get out of the way. If you look at this piece of wood just right, looks like a coyote howling at the moon. Another buoy. Looks like a cartoon rocket. Are you convinced yet? All right, so that's on the wrong side of this mound to be done by the river. That, I believe, is a beaver lodge. Whether they're living in there now as beavers or as otters, I can't tell you at the moment. But I did come and look at this. I did find this last time I was here without showing you. And there were, in fact, what I believe to have been otters around here, because river otters are famous for taking over abandoned beaver lodges. And I'm pretty sure that that's a beaver lodge. But a lot of people will walk by beaver lodges and just write them off as a pile of sticks. I think that might be the point. That might be what the beaver's trying to do, is like fool you. But it's a legendary example of one to me. I see the organization, whereas random people might see a pile of sticks. See the big log, And see how this is formed up against here, and it kind of comes up high. Yeah, beaver lodge. I don't necessarily want to get on it because beavers are not like Care Bears. They're not cuddly and cute. So if I piss them off and I'm like within striking range, old buck tooth get me with them buck teeth. I don't hear anything stirring. Sometimes when I get this close to a beaver lodge, there's something stirring. I don't hear an alert. I don't see any movement in the water. I don't hear rustling. I wonder if this is abandoned. I wonder if there's anything living in there. Let's see, I'm gonna try to get down here to where this. Okay, we're in position. We're right on top. We are on a trustworthy tree here, coming out of the side of the mound. Yeah, I'm gonna show you what I mean by how this, what looks like to you, to most of you, a pile of sticks is coming up, and why, to me, I see organization. You see sticks here. See those coming up and going the nice angle parallel to each other. Here, I'm gonna pull one of these sticks that's right here up with, well, shoot, we'll just get down here with my hands. Oh, plenty of evidence here. That wasn't done with a sawzall. I'm gonna turn around and see how they're coming up. Almost like a crude thatching, like wattle and daub, but without the daub, just the sticks. And you can see where it looks like something was chewing right there. Looks like stuff has been scratching around in the soil. Yep, we're on top of a beaver lodge. That's why I keep calling this a beaver dam. It may be really, really old. Sometimes they get so old you can't identify them as such, but you also got to understand this is southeast Louisiana. We're at such a low altitude, like almost at sea level, if not below it. In some places we are below sea level, so it's not going to look like a beaver dam up in the mountains, in the Rockies. It's going to look different. It's going to be shallow, and it's going to be swampy. That's real swampy looking water. Woo, that was successful. I think the first time I tried to get down there, I was not so successful getting back up. But let's look right here. I'm surprised nothing stirred, because when I first came here, there was stuff upset that I was here. They don't seem to care today, because they might not be here today. I'm sure something's here. But they were river otters. I don't know if river otters, when they take over a beaver dam, if they hold it for multiple seasons. So if this is in fact what I'm calling it, a lodge, whether beavers are living in it or otters, but it was created by beavers, the actual lodge, the house, is probably up in here. We've probably been walking over it this whole time, and nobody's getting upset. When I first looked at this, I wasn't looking for the beavers or the beaver lodge, river otters. I was looking at it to see if it was worth fishing. And since then, I've kind of written it off. I think maybe I could come here and do a session, but it's the woods are so thick around it, where the deepest parts of it are anyway. It's so thick, and after looking at it for a long time, that day I came back here, I didn't really ever see anything better than spotted gar and fur bear and trout swimming around. Every beaver pond on the Mississippi has a route from the pond or from the lodge to the river, and this lodge is not right on the river. It's a good ways from it. We're coming through this really thick patch of vine here with the thorns, and I keep pausing my sentences. My internal monologue is annoyed by that, but I'm retracing my footsteps. We are looking for that route. And did I make the wrong turn? Because I feel like it. Shoot. Massive. I don't necessarily remember that. Here we are. All right, so this is what I found before. I think this is, I didn't go any past this, right? This is where I turned around and went and shot another video. And I'm not going past this. This leads to the pond. And when I looked at it, it was well kept, manicured, because it was in use, right? And see how it's so brackish and rusty looking? And how all this is grown up. None of it's bent. It's all natural looking, untouched. I don't think anything's coming through here. We've come up maybe a couple feet up in altitude or less, and here we have the pond. So this is like an earthen dam, right? When I first came here and I walked along this, and I got maybe over here. Here's another way to get in and out. I'm being careful because, yeah, it was obvious that stuff was coming and going here. I don't even see evidence of alligators coming and going, but somewhere around here I found a small earthen dam that was fresh. Where was that? I don't see it today. When people think of beaver dams, a lot of times they think of logs and stuff, small twigs, sticks. What they don't think about is mud. Beavers can make dams out of mud as well as sticks and logs and the such. This is definitely looking like a beaver thing right here. I could be wrong, but I believe that I just walked over a very low beaver dam, but there's no sign of beaver, no activity. Look, got a track right there. We could have pigs and deer back here amongst many other critters such as coyote, raccoon, possum, pig children. Yeah, what happened to everybody? It was river otters a year ago. Before that, it was all built by beavers, because river otters don't build dams. They don't build lodges. They will burrow into places to make new homes, but they are also, and they're famous for this, take over abandoned beaver lodges. And a beaver lodge can be in a beaver dam like this, or like the one we just showed you, and that was a major one. So why no beavers? Why no otters? Many different answers to that question, and I don't know which one to pick, which one to choose. But yeah, not much of anything back here. Okay. It's just amazing how different it looks and how much more abandoned it looks back here. So there's just much more water this year, and there's a lot of water, standing water, going a great distance that way. But like I said, I didn't go past this point. Not literally where I'm standing, but I didn't go past this dam that we're walking on. And I'm pretty sure that this is a dam made by beavers that we're walking on. I didn't go past this area right here, and I don't want to, for reasons I will not go into. But yeah, I'm public where I'm at, but if I go past here, it is no longer public. So what I want to do is kind of work my way out of here, but until I truly am walking out of here, I want to come along this wash, or this route out, because when I first found this was active. It was really clean, but it wasn't holding water in its entirety, right? There was water going up to there, and at some point along here there was a low dam, a low mud dam, about maybe that high, coming across here to hold water on that side. And then on the other side of it there was no water, but it was wet and it was smooth, and you could see where critters had been, the otters, right, had been sliding out, doing this sort of thing, dog paddling down the mud slippery highway. This is over a year ago, so will I find it? I don't know. But it held this, oh, look at this. It held just enough water to where if you were the size of a small otter, you could swim. Look at that. See that right there? That doesn't look super active, but something. Oh, up higher. There's another burrow up higher. I don't even see signs of alligators coming through here. There's just a lot of algae. It's like reminds me of rivers up in the mountains, going through areas where there is a huge iron ore deposit. So the water is tinted red, and that's tinted red. I think this is from an algae. See how spoogy it looks? It doesn't smell pretty either. So to be clear, the water is actually clear. The water's not that color. It's that weird algae stuff that is that color. The water is super clear coming out of there. That's probably mostly rainwater. We're almost to the end of this wash, this drain. You know what I'm surprised by? It's alligators again. But this time I want to say immature baby alligators, because ponds like that usually full of alligators. Alligators go up in there to make nests, and then lots of frogs here. I just saw one. Oh, look at that. Tracks right there. Something smells like cat pee. What smells like cat pee over here? I'm not insinuating that a cat is running around peeing on everything. There's something growing over here that has a similar smell. Oh, very mushy right here because of that water draining off. But here we are back at the river. This is where I truly start to walk back. Remember earlier I said some people get lost in the woods really easy, but this is not the kind of woods where it's easy to get lost, right? You can get lost just about anywhere, despite weird stuff being in the woods. Some people could walk right by something like this and not commit it to memory. But this is my first time seeing this. This is, I'm guessing, a tore up buoy. I don't even remember this from last time, but it has been well over a year, literally, I heard something. I think it was a bird. Literally over a year when I discovered that, and there were otters everywhere. Maybe I saw about 7 of them in 2 locations. Recognize that? We're on the right track. On my way back towards the bike, decided to come over here and look at this. When I first came back here, of course, I noticed this, but it didn't have standing water in it. I find its shape interesting. Kind of dug out to this point right here. I've seen alligators make ruts in the mud or in the ground in the woods as they travel from a pond to the river, constantly going back and forth, dragging their belly, right? And sometimes it's not very apparent going through the woods, but it will be right where they're going in and out of the water that they're traveling out of or traveling to, right? Sometimes they choose the same spot where they come in and go. I'm not saying that that is what that is, but I'm using that as an example. So if this is a gator trail, that's a big ass gator. I don't know what caused that. Time, I would say, time. Taking a closer look at this, this is massive. We can come around it. Wow. Really cool looking. We're real close to the bike. We came by this and another one just like it, but this is not the one I showed you with the live one and the dead one. Something smells fresh. By that I mean not fresh. It smells rotten. Well, shoot, it's kind of thick right there. Let's go around it. So one of the things that's very unique to this stretch of woods that I'm back in this afternoon is the fact that we have a mix of different trees. Usually along the river here, it's nothing but softwoods, you know, willows, river willows. But in here we have a lot of different, we have a bigger variety. We have hardwoods and softwoods, oak trees. We got these old growth trees, been here a long time, and a lot of the stretch of woods here, it's young willows. Willows don't live very long, right? We're underneath a big oak tree. That tree that I was just crawling around and the root ball on, that's an oak tree as well. I knew one day I would come back here and document what I found that one day. Document the beaver pond back there, the lodge, and I was hoping to encounter otters. But in the end, I documented what I documented. I documented today, what there was there today and what it looked like today. And I've been saving this video for a while. Right? I told you that I found something that I'm going to show you eventually, and this is it. It's not what I found that day, it's what I found today. But hey, thanks for coming along and hanging out with me as I come through the woods on this full moon. It was really nice. We didn't have any issues with the wind. It wasn't hot, it wasn't humid, it was just nice. And we discovered some things and we learned some things, and I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, being a member of the channel, and I will see you next time.